When seaming an EPDM liner, make sure the liner is clean and clear of contaminants. The overlap should be a minimum of 4 inches, as the seam tape is 4 inches wide. So you fold back the top layer 4 or 5 inches, then you make sure the areas are clean of contaminants, and then you take your scrubber pad and your primer, and you put a generous amount on your scrubber pad and prime both surfaces. Now we do the underside. Now it's necessary to wait maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Let the primer dry and then test it with your finger to make sure it is tacky or sticky to the touch. Push down at an angle. As you can see, it lifts up just a little bit. The primer is ready. Apply the 3-inch quick seam tape to the underside of the liner. Peel off the 3-inch quick seam tape from the roll. Get it started. Now we're going to fold over the top layer onto the 3-inch seam tape. Run your hand along the seam. Make sure it's smooth. The final step is to take the 6-inch cover strip and mark along your EPDM liner where this cover strip is going to go, centering it along the seam. Here we are. Now we take the Quick Prime primer and prime the whole area that the cover strip is going to cover. Next, we need to wait 30 seconds to a minute until the primer sets up. We test the primer by touching it, pushing down, and seeing if it lifts up a little bit. That's all it takes, and the primer is ready. I'll next lay out the 6-inch cover strip, the length of the seam, and cut it with a scissor or a knife. Next, we take the cover strip, backing side down, and place it over the seam on top of the primer. Then we peel off the backing. And slowly and carefully, we place the cover strip centered on the seam. Peel it off, being careful to stay between the guidelines provided. Run your hand back and forth, smooth out the seam. Looks like we did a very good job. And we're done. Now we've got a waterproof seal for our EPDM liner.